everybody. Welcome to Wednesday, our Wednesday stream. We're good to go. Let's go over a couple of the new things that I've added here today. Hopefully they work. Wrong way. Up here is going to be our captioning. It doesn't look like it's working. I don't know why. Eventually, it'll be our captioning. I'll try and get it to work. Down here is going to be our chat. So me and you. Isn't that cool? Yeah. So when we type stuff in chat, it should come up there. That way for if you're going back to the videos later on, you have a chance to actually catch up with chat. So a couple new things with chat. My header today has a couple of extra tags in it. So first things first, excuse me while I move stuff around to get at my keyboard. All right, so the first one is the pronouns tag. So basically, in order to make this a more inclusive space, there is, I recommend using a pronouns tag, a pronouns extension, just so that we can make it more comfortable for those who wish to have their appropriate pronouns known. If you're not interested in showing off your own pronouns, that's fine. But it just helps to keep things a little bit more inclusive for everybody. So there's details there on how to set it up, and then how to set it up so that you can see everyone else's pronouns. So the other tag that we have is for social. Which is all my social tags, so you can find me in various places. My YouTube channel, Instagram, and Twitter. And finally, the pattern details. So, like we went over yesterday, last Sunday, sorry, we were talking, we started a lapgan. It had intended to be a baby blanket, but it's not going to be a baby blanket. We had started a lapgan. There's the pattern link right there. And if you need the YouTube video that goes along with it, just let me know and I'll add that into chat. So, where are we at with our crafting today? So let's get right into it. So I have a craft cam today. It works. Let's see. Hopefully it works. I say this and now I might be eating my words. 1 second. It works. We have a craft cam. La la la. And last week, or Sunday, when we left off, we had done the foundation row and the first single crochet, and then I had struggled with the next row. So I just could not get my count right. The off stream, I have gone back and tried to figure out where my error was. As you can see, it's all working out nicely now. There's actually a nice, mostly straight edge at the end, and I've gone ahead and done the next 2 rows so that we actually have a nice lattice pattern forming here. So that's looking pretty nice, huh? So the biggest problem that I had, it turns out, is counting the first stitch. That's where my numbers were a problem. The initial chain 4 in this pattern counts as the first stitch, and it's not always clear when doing specialty stitches how the first stitch should always be counted. And with blankets, normally it is counted as the first stitch. I don't do a lot of blankets. The only blankets I normally do are granny squares, and I do those differently. I start those with a double crochet each row, so I know for sure that that's my first stitch. So now that I know that the chain 4 counts as the first stitch, it flows a lot nicer. So for today, we've done our one repeat of the pattern. So now this just keeps going up until it's as long as we want it, and then we add the border. So the pattern itself recommends, I think, 42 inches. I don't know how many repeats that is. Yeah, it's just a regular until you get to the 42 inches, or as long as you want it. So I'll go until it looks like I'm starting to run out of yarn. or until it's a decent lapgan length. So that is that. Let's get going on here. And then there's a couple of rounds of border. So we start again from the beginning. So I've done the one repeat and then switched the lattice, shifted it down a little bit to make it the actual lattice pattern. So now we do this row. I'm not even showing you guys properly. This row again. And with this new craft cam, the color is actually showing fairly accurate. This one, it's still a little gray. There is a bit more green in the actual yarn than is showing here right now. I'm just going to try and, yeah, see, when I move it around and change the lighting somewhat. Maybe if I, no, that makes it worse. Yeah. Anyway. It's showing a little bit more accurate than it was previously. I even tried to take a photo of it and post it up onto Instagram, and it still was a problem. So I'm going to have to go outside in the sunlight and just use all natural lighting and see if I can catch it there and get an actual color accuracy for you. All right, and the other thing that I've been doing that I did over these last two rows is actually mark the first stitch as well, because I'm horrible at trying to figure it out otherwise. All right, so we start off this one with a double treble. So I skip, I'm going to move here. So I have, this is the first stitch, so it counts that first little hole as part of this stitch. I don't know if you can see that there. This first little bit right there, that's going to be the first stitch. So we skip the next two stitches and into there. So we actually have, this is why I was getting confused. We actually have almost three, to my eye, we have 3 stitches that we're skipping. So anyway, we figured it out. It'll work now. So we're doing a double treble and then 2 trebles behind it, making sure again that we're skipping this other stitch. So we're going to go into that middle stitch there and do 2 trebles. And I forgot to I did say I was going to do that one, put the chain in there. I said I was going to, and then I didn't. See? Okay. Good. Yeah, there we go. So another treble in behind. And then we're going to skip the next stitch. I'm going way too high. I'm sorry, I keep going out of the camera here. So we're going to skip the next stitch and go into, because this is where our backwards double treble is going to go in, and so it'll go in here with our single treble. Seriously, we need a new term for double treble. I'm just going to start calling them Timmies, and that'll be that. So yeah, I'm going to have to change the position of this camera because I keep going out of frame, or learn to train myself to stay in frame. All right. Yeah, we're actually going to get a few rows done today, I think. There we go, our first little V is done. Yay! And then we just repeat that all the way across and end the row with another double treble. So I'm going to apologize right now. I'm going to be drinking a lot of water while we're on stream today. I got my second COVID shot today. Yay, fully vaccinated. So one of the recommendations from the person who gave me the shot was to drink a lot of water because apparently dehydration is a thing. She actually mentioned that I should be drinking upwards of 3 liters of water each day over the next couple of days, simply because of how badly the second shot tends to dehydrate folks. which leads to all the side effects and whatnot, right? So I'd rather not be getting sick and having to stay in bed for the next couple of days. So I'm going to take her advice. Add to that we're in the middle of a heat wave as well, so drinking water is definitely a priority. I think I was mentioning that we were in the middle of a heat wave on Sunday. We've actually had thunderstorms in the forecast for the last week and a bit. Every day for the last week or so we've had a thunderstorm in the forecast, and it has not stormed. We desperately need a thunderstorm and break some of this humidity. Okay. And the bonus to doing these other 2 rows off stream, it's sad that you guys didn't watch me catching my mistake. On one hand, but on the other hand, I actually have really grasped this pattern, the repeats. So I'm able to talk and pay attention to what I'm doing all at the same time. Because doing 2 things at once some days is a stretch for me. So a mindless task is good. Yeah, this is going so much nicer. Look at how nicely that's coming together. It's going to be really nice when it's done. One of those blankets is not going to be super hot because it has a bit of blowing through, but perfect for TV, I think. So what else is new today? Like I said, I got my second COVID shot today. That's good. Nothing else is really new. It's all just the same old, same old. We're starting to open up restrictions here in the province of Ontario. So things are starting to open as of this weekend. Oh! I should probably let you know then. That means next week, Wednesday, I will not be streaming. Because I'm having outdoor steak. Restaurants are open for patios, and I have been missing my steak. I'm a steak girl. I was raised in the prairies. Beef is definitely a part of my diet, and I need to go have some good steak. Because it has been a long shutdown. So I will not be around on Wednesday. I forgot about that. I went ahead and booked that without even thinking that I have things on Wednesdays now, so I apologize. That was poor taste on my part. That's okay. I spent the entire day today thinking it was Thursday. I had all kinds of Wednesday appointments that I was attending and doing, and at some point I'm chatting with my spouse and talking about who needs what car for what, and how we're going to arrange all the rides and all of that. And instead I get funny looks from my kid and my spouse when I'm like, well, don't you have to leave at this time? No, because the appointments I was thinking of are not today. So, you know, mom life. That's one thing I'm not going to miss too much when I get to go back into work. I don't have to worry about that stuff. All right. You know what? I'm going to see why. I'm just going to take a look here at my captions. Oh, there they are. Just all of a sudden, there's my captions. Well, that was a quick fix. Turns out I just need to make that the active window. So that's something interesting. So I apologize for the first, 10 minutes, 15 minutes without captions. I was trying to find a closed captions option, and there doesn't appear to be one that works with Streamlabs, which is the software that I'm using to stream. There may be one if I pay for the premium membership for Streamlabs, but Folks, this is my second stream. I have 7 followers. I'm under no illusions. I'm not paying for anything at this time. And yes, one of those 7 followers is myself. I'm not too proud. What other news can I share with you? Well, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see that last night we caught a baby mouse in our basement. When we first moved into this place, we had mice, notably in our spice cupboards and whatnot, and in our kitchen. And that taught me an awful lot about proper setting of traps and controlling the mice. So that was a thing. We ended up, once we got rid of that little infestation, we had gotten cats. So we still have a cat. Luna, I think I spoke about her on Sunday. She is not, I don't know that she's ever had an experience with mice. Like, I don't think so. She's not an outdoor cat. She's indoor exclusively. We live in the middle of the city, so sending a cat outside is not really a great idea. And there's a lot of wild animals around as well. So there's a lot of green space in our city, and so to have a cat wandering about with a lot of other larger animals and vehicles and all that stuff, it's not exactly a great idea to send her outside. So she's an indoor cat only, and this is really the only experience she's had with mice. So last night we did find a baby mouse. My spouse called down and was using his Luna voice, the one that he uses with the cat, and I thought maybe she was doing something that she should be getting in trouble for, or super cute or whatever, but no, he was talking like that to the mouse. So then I scolded the cat and told her that she needs to spend more time in the basement, because if there was a baby in the basement, that means there's more likely in the basement. There's likely a nest around somewhere, so I told her that she needed to spend more time in the basement to get rid of all these critters, and she just looked at me and was like, but there's mice down there. Why would I do that? Because she's a fool. I've lost my place. After this, with all the bragging that I said that I was good with the pattern now. Hold on. So, okay, the triple. Oh, okay. I don't know if I've been sitting in stream because I've just been chatting away with my views here. There we go. I don't know if you can hear the music, but this particular song is a little repetitive. And it's not showing, like, I'm starting to learn that there is an order to all the windows that I have open, because I normally have on the bottom corner of the screen a little image that shows what song is playing for your purposes. So if you like the song, you can go onto Spotify and add it to your playlist or whatever. But for some reason, it's not showing up today, and I think it's because I didn't open the screen in the right order. So I'm gonna figure out what that order is. I don't know. I don't know if I need to have Streamlabs open before my music or my music open before Streamlabs. And I don't remember which one I had open first today. So that's a thing. Anyway, I don't know if the music is too loud for you or not. It seemed like it was pretty good on Sunday, so I just kept it at the same settings. And I haven't decided if I want to make this blanket entirely on stream or not. But I am thinking I'm going to do something different on Sunday. I was talking about a sock starting a sock and doing some of that. But I also had, while moving a few things around in this space today, I remembered that I have a number of scales for scale mail. And I thought about making some wristers with scale mail or dice bags, that sort of thing, to go up on my shop. So I can make that with you folks, because those are super cool. I made some really great wristers for my son, for two of my kids actually, because they just loved it. So I figure if they like it, other people will like it, and I can put it up on my shop. So there we go. I'm not sure that I like the speech bubbles yet. I realize that it's black text on white and it's not always easy to read. So I'll have a look around and see if I can find a better background or better overlay. I'm way out of screen again. So obviously I stitch up. I'll have to learn to, or move my camera. Let's see if I can do that. One moment, please. Oh, there you go. Now you get nothing but my boob. Okay, hold on. Ugh, this is supposed to be easy to move. Oh, there's a... Well, isn't that fancy? I can just adjust it right on the thingy with the who's a what's it, and I know you know what I'm talking about. That's not gonna work either. Okay. Is that more comfortable? We'll see. We'll see if that works. All right. Treble, double treble. Timmy's. It's not going to be at the right angle for you folks at this one anyway. Maybe I need to have it on the other side, over my other shoulder. Maybe that might work a bit better. I suppose since I crochet so weird, I hold my hook and yarn differently than most crocheters, I realize. That's what it comes from learning from YouTube. It was just one of those, it felt right at the beginning, and it continues to feel right this way. I don't have any cramping, or there's a hair right here. I don't tend to have any difficulty really long hair stuck. Where did that come from? I don't have long hair. I don't think anyone in my house does anymore. My middle kid, but they're not even around. I don't know. Leftovers from a forgotten time. What did I just do there? I only skipped one, not two. Time to pull out. Okay. Yeah, this was a comfortable way for me to hold my hook when I started, and it remains to be comfortable. I don't have any difficulties with cramped up wrists or hands too much, so yeah, I still need to adjust to this. This is still, I'm going to keep that there. Bear with me again. Close your eyes if it makes you ill. Oh, now you can see how I have my mouse, and there, that might work better. Does that work better? You can see a bit of the pattern. Yeah, that works better. Okay, so it's just a matter of playing with it. Always does. Always does matter. Next I need to fix that music screen thing so you can hear the music. Or see the music the songs playing, excuse me. Let me see if I can do that. Music's going to pause for a second. Oh. There we go. I just had to pause the music. And my closed captioning. Okay, so definitely, there we go. Definitely in order to these things, because the closed captioning stopped. Not closed captioning. Live captions? The captions stopped when I stopped that window from being on top, so. Anyway, I was starting to say I was looking for a captioning widget or some form of closed captioning to give you folks an option, but I was unable to find anything that really worked or that I really understood how to make it work, which is key. I have to be able to understand what I'm doing. And this way really made sense and is easy to use, and I don't have to sign up for anything special and all that. I'm already halfway through this row. We might actually get a few rows done today. Being that it's Wednesday evening in the middle of a weeknight, I'm not going to be streaming as long as I did on Sunday. My plan is to go about 9:30 Eastern. So only a couple hours stream. But it's going to be available on Twitch for a couple of weeks and of course uploaded to my YouTube channel as well, which you can find by checking out the socials tag. I think I have it linked on my page as well. Time for a drink. I definitely have not hit the 3 hours mark with the drink, or 3 hours, 3 liters mark with the drinking. Because that is a lot of water. I normally do about 1.5 liters a day. So to double my input is a lot. And I've also had some training in hydration and how to maintain your hydration when water is scarce. So that is something that I tend to do normally to make you feel like you're hydrated, which is probably not really great. But it's something that I do. So I have to be really thirsty to take a drink. So maybe once I have loyalty points or something, that'll have to be something that I add on as a reminder to hydrate. Folks can spend points to remind me to take a drink. I was talking about it on stream on Sunday or not, but I was also thinking about doing some spinning on stream. I am not a spinner, and I have never made a really good yarn via spinning, but I do have a drop spindle and roving, and it might be fun to experiment and figure out how to do it with you folks to see what works. And we can see what mishaps and misadventures we can get into. Shenanigans, as it were. 2, 3. My nose is running again. I haven't had a problem with my allergies all day. Maybe it's this chair. Luna tends to like to sleep in this chair. And maybe I'm allergic to her. I hope not. I generally only have seasonal allergies, but it's starting to get to be the time of year where even those should be past. Oops, 2. But anything's possible. Our bodies are constantly changing with new and fantastic things. I may have to take a break and go blow my nose. Which is fine with the amount of water that I've been drinking. I'm going to have to take a break soon anyway. The person who gave me my shot this morning also said that in recommending the amount of water to drink and reminding me that we're in the middle of a heat wave, so maybe it should be more than 3 liters. She also said, yeah, and you know, coffee is the opposite of water. And I was like, you will pry my coffee from my cold, dead hands. Yes, I did have 2 more cups of coffee after that appointment this morning. I am definitely a person who enjoys their coffee. Oof. I haven't made any headway on my scooty that I've been working on. I'll have to show you folks that particular project. It's really quite cool. I'm done the hooded part, and it's a 2-layer hood attached to a scarf. And I have to now seam the hood together, or do a single crochet around to join the hood together. The gotcha is that the actual hood part, the point of the hood on the back, excuse me, sorry about that, the hood part on the back of the head is not joined. So if it's not at least attached nicely together on the inside, it tends to make this really weird bulge. So I have to kind of figure out what I'm going to do with that. I may have to just tie it off somehow just to have it loosely connected, just to avoid that bulge. Otherwise it's going to be a little coneheadish. All right, 1, 2, 3. So I haven't joined them yet, and it's kind of in a holding pattern until then. I suppose I can go ahead and work the scarf portion and then add it all in together. But the pattern really doesn't make any allowance for that. It just says just seam it together and go for it. So we'll see. I don't know. I'll come up with something. Okay. Is this how this is supposed to go? I think this is wrong. Because this is the same as the last row. What did I do? I just realized, look at, I don't know if you can see, this is exactly the same as the last row. There, see it? Huh. I did mess up halfway through this row. So I'm supposed to have, I have V, going up, down, and I missed the up right here. So I'm gonna have to pull back to this part. To this particular stitch. Wonder what I was talking about there. Probably the mice. Oof. Here I thought it was going to be smooth sailing. Nay, nay. Well, I've never made a perfect project yet. Not one. In all my years of knitting and crocheting, never ever had a project where there wasn't a mistake. Oh, I tell ya. Okay. Let's see. Wonder if that's where I was lost there for a moment. Most likely. That's okay. It's just yarn. Just pull it back and start again. I'm glad I found it now, because there have been projects where I've done stuff like this and not found it until the project was nearly finished. And then comes the decision, well, do I pull it back out and start completely over, right back to that portion, or not? Sometimes I'll pull it back, sometimes I won't. Depends on the project. Yeah, I spent a pretty good day the other day. Monday or Tuesday. It's only been Monday or Tuesday since the last time we spoke. Going through Streamlabs and looking at every single option and reading all of the tabs and looking at everything that I can do. So that was really helpful. I tried to check out the various Reddit channels, and you know, I realize I'm probably getting old when I look at these things and I just don't get it. I know that there's a lot of good information on those pages, and if I use the right Google search terms, I'll find that information that I'm looking for. But to just be on the site and to try and find what I'm looking for is not my thing. Well, I will try and go till the top of the hour before I take a break, because I will need to blow my nose. I don't think you guys want snot dribbling down my face. That's not really a cool thing, you know? Okay. So I just have to remember that I have to do a climbing up the mountain, going up with my double treble, and then climbing back down the mountain, going down with my double treble, and then do all my trebles. That should work, right? That's a good remembering tool. Yeah, I think the camera on the opposite side though would work, because you folks may may see things a little bit more clearly, because right now all you're seeing is this hand in the way of all of it. Or maybe directly over my shoulder, like something here. Start attaching a GoPro to my forehead. That could work. You know. It would only be my mini version that looks silly. I don't know. I'm sure there's a little clip to the camera that I could attach it somewhere unobtrusive. Go down. Okay, so see what I just did? I did an up the mountain and then I was stuck and I couldn't remember what I needed to do, so I went up the mountain. Now I need to go down the mountain. It's these little tricks that I can remember and teach myself. I can do this. Heck yeah. And then skipping the stitch, that's the other one that I have to remember, is skipping a stitch in between these. Trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to chat about with you folks today. The only other thing that's been going on is I've been waiting on some information from work that I finally it's starting to trickle in, so that's nice. Once that's clarified and taken care of, I should be able to start actually going into work and doing my job. That would be something, wouldn't it? Although getting paid to stay at home right now is pretty darn Gucci. Not gonna lie. And I definitely realized that was a very privileged statement that I just made. I am extremely lucky to have a job that allows me to stay home and still collect a paycheck. I realize that. And certainly if it hadn't been for that, I don't know how we would have made it through this pandemic at all. No idea. My son is actually finally getting shifts at work as well now that we're starting to reopen. So he's excited. He actually can go back into work. His employer was really great too, although he works in retail, and although he's on an hourly wage, they were still paying their staff whatever their scheduled wages was going to be. So that was pretty freaking amazing. Of course, we're in Canada, and the Canadian government has done an awful lot for individuals and for businesses to help carry them through this. So, I mean, I realize that once we're back up and running, it's going to be a little bit shaky in terms of economics where the government is concerned, but if you don't invest in your people, your economy is going to tank anyway. So, and that is a fact. From an economist, I can tell you that. I'll show you the math for it too if you want. But basically, that's the same thing as everything. You gotta support the base in order for the pyramid to stand. It makes sense, right? If you take the bottom block from the Jenga tower, the entire thing's gonna fall. I don't know what song this is, but this is awful. I need to find a new playlist. I did find, so my music is coming from Spotify, and this is a playlist called like Lo-Fi Beats or whatever. And it's very coffee shoppy and chill, which is great. But it's not really my style of music. Being that I am streaming this on Twitch and then uploading it to YouTube, there are copyright issues with me playing the type of music that I do enjoy and that I would normally listen to when I do this sort of thing. So, there's that. I almost did it again. I almost made that same mistake again and was almost in the same spot. But that's looking really pretty. Can you see? Yeah. Really nice. I'm going to finish this row and then do the single crochet row across and then take a break. And I'm going to hydrate. Trying to find a place to put my water bottle that I'm not going to bump into mics and cameras and stuff. I'm very cloistered in this area right now. I will be rearranging this room. This is currently coined the craft room. It was my son's room. My son just moved out at the beginning of May, so this is all now newly empty. And so we are rearranging it and trying to find the right layout for this room so that everyone has a place to go for all of their tools and accoutrements. And I also thought that this would be the perfect room for streaming, which it is. It has great lighting and it has a door, which is good, with, you know, the rest of the family still being out and about. But right now there's a lot of, and you can't see it because I have this arranged so it looks all nice, neat, and tidy behind me, but there's boxes everywhere. There's boxes and there's shelving. And I plan to bring in a desk so that I actually have an actual desk space so that if I want to stream some games, which I do, I can. Right now my computer is a laptop. I'm streaming from a laptop and it's sitting on top of a folding table. So if I can get a more permanent type setup, that would be preferred. We'll see. So I just need to figure out where I'm going to put the desk in this room that's not going to be in the way for everyone else, because we have all kinds of crafting things. My middle kid paints and makes paper and makes notebooks, which is super awesome. Really would love it if they started streaming that stuff. And really great at it anyway. So all of their supplies are about, and then I have all my yarn and all my crafting things everywhere. And there's boxes of books and reference materials, and my son still has stuff in the closet, so we can't even use the closet space. So it also has to be set up in such a way so that if we ever need this room for a bedroom again, that we can do so quickly. So anyway, that's a task that we need to do. I didn't get to it earlier this week. I had intended to bring my desk up here yesterday or the day before, didn't get to it. Today I had my shot and my arm is really sore, and I don't know how I'll feel tomorrow. If I feel okay tomorrow, I may do it then, but we'll see. All that to say, my gorgeous background here may change. And I may have a slightly better setup, which would be good. Getting near the end of the row here. 1, 2. And at the end of this stitches repeat, there is a separate treble crochet at the very end of the row. Alright, so now we do the treble into the last stitch. Bam! That row is done. That's so pretty. Yeah, these captions aren't exactly accurate. Elsa pretty. All right, I'm gonna do the single crochet row across. I think part of the captioning problem is it's picking up the wrong mic. So I have my streaming mic here, and then I have my craft cam here, and then I have a webcam there. And all three of those things have a mic. And I think that the captioning service is just picking up the wrong mic. It's still picking things up okay, but it's not really as clear as all that. Plus I probably have an accent. I don't know. I don't think I have an accent, but that would be silly to think that. So that'll be my task for Sunday, is to switch the camera around to the other side so that you can actually see more, or have it over my shoulder so you can see more. See, the problem with this music is it sounds like it's the same song over and over again. It's always the same beat. There's no piano in this one. The next one will have a piano. Guarantee that. Some jazz drum. Oh, a flute. Just for something different. I feel like I should be wearing an Aran turtleneck with this song. Is that a mandolin? One of the instruments, you mean? I'm not sure what you mean by is that a mandolin. I don't even know if you can hear the music okay. Oh, it sounds like a piano. There is an instrument called a mandolin, but I think it's more like a guitar type. It's a string instrument. Like this might be a mandolin. I don't know. Probably not. It's probably still just a guitar. But see, same drum beat. It's a different song. Oh, maybe it's a harp. Yeah, sitar. Yeah. And I can see that my chat isn't actually scrolling through on my screen, so I don't know. I don't know, folks. Maybe it only shows the top of the chat. Maybe it'll get to it eventually. Halfway through this row. I'm gonna have to get a fan in this room or something because it is awfully warm in here right now. Have the tech support look into it. Oh, there's just a long delay. I see, okay. Yeah, regarding my chat, okay. I was trying to remember what I had said that would require tech support. Yes. My chat window. It's just a really long delay, I think so, because it is starting to scroll through. It's just very slow. Oop. Okay. My craft cam looks good, huh? Actually see what I'm doing, but I think I'm gonna have to move it. I was saying earlier, I think that it needs to go on the opposite side, the opposite shoulder. 3 to 4 minute delay on the text in the chat bubble. Yeah. I don't know if it's minutes or if it's lines. I don't know. The actual pattern that I'm working from, you mean, is out of focus? Which would be fine because it's not intended for everyone to read. By hitting ! pattern in chat, you can actually see a link to the pattern and download it directly. And that'll provide you with the link. Minutes or Vits lines. Is that what it said in the captioning? Yeah, the captioning is not exactly accurate. Again, I think it's because it's not picking up the correct mic. I need to play with my mic settings and have it pick up the correct mic, because I think there's actually 3 mics active on this system right now. Between the 2 cameras and the actual mic, I think that it's causing problems. I'm nearing the red thing. I will call tech support and get some assistance on my mic, whose name is not Mike. That's lovely. Thank you very much. That's good advice. For context, dear viewer, Scott in chat is my tech support. Yeah. So I'm sure that's something that we'll be looking into over the next couple of days. And I'm sure it's just a checkbox somewhere on some setting that I don't have accurate. All right, so I'm just gonna finish this little row. It's only a few stitches to go, and then I'm gonna take a quick few minute break. Go blow my nose, go pee. And then we'll start the next row and we should be good to go. Whoops. All right, let's take a look. Oop, that's too low. There we go. Pretty. Ooh, pretty. Very nice. All right, so I'm just gonna take a quick break. Invite you to do the same. And we'll see you back here in a couple minutes. If I can figure this out. Okay. Oh, I need to make the active window right. Here we go. There. Captioning should work. Ha! And you have all the stuff that I said off stream. That's great. That's a problem. Anyway. It's fine. Kids gotta eat. Alrighty, so now we start the fourth row of the repeat. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually putting this thing in now. I also opened the window in this room since it's starting to get a little bit cooler outside. Hopefully that airflow will help with the heat in this room. There we go. Okay. All right, so this one just shifts that same pattern across. So we have 1, 2, skipping that stitch, and in, because this is the first stitch, let's not make that mistake again. Skip the next single crochet, 1 treble in the next 2. There. Yeah, it's probably going to be the entirety of this blanket that I will be having to remind myself that I actually have to skip 1 more stitch than I feel like I should have to, if that made any sense whatsoever. 1, 2, 3. Yes, I go backwards first. And then in there. Oops. And I'll do 2 trebles behind. And then I'll show you how that shifted the pattern. I just started from the middle of the V point instead of at the beginning of the V point. Here. So it's the opposite of the previous row. You can see that V right there. Opposite of this V, so it makes a nice little diamondy square type thing. Anyway, there it is. So, and then I start that again. Okay. No, I do not. What did I do? I can remember this pattern just fine. This is great. I know what I'm doing. Yeah, that sounds like me. Oops. I'm splitting the yarn. That's not good. I wonder if that is because of my accent, maybe. Oops, splitting the R nuts, not the good. Yeah, the nuts are not good. Sure they are. I'm just thinking this is about 4 inches, huh? So if we did 42 inches for the blanket, so I would need like 22 repeats of the pattern, roughly, if my math is correct. Given that 2 repeats are 4 inches, (22) repeats will give us 44 inches, because it wants us to end at the end of this next row. In terms of pattern repeats. I seriously need to find a different playlist. Not a fan. I suppose it's good if you're having conversation with people. You don't want them to spend all their time singing along to music, so it's great for coffee shop and that sort of thing. I don't have any coffee here, so, you know, coffee shop music doesn't necessarily need to be a thing. Ooh, there's a voice in this. How is this not copywritten? Well, and the bonus to me having the window open is you get to hear the loud mufflers outside. It's getting to be later in the evening though, so you're not going to hear the kids playing. Might hear the dogs barking. We'll see. It's not exactly a quiet neighborhood, which is fine, it suits. It's active, very active neighborhood. Like seriously, should this not be an unallowed song? I don't know. We'll see if they mute me in the video. Guarantee you YouTube will. Which is too bad because this is a good song, however. Let's try that. The benefit to the coffee house music, I guess. Not being muted. Continuing on with my math, now my brain is out wondering how many balls of yarn I would actually need, because this one is maybe halfway through, maybe a little bit less than half, but that center portion is very empty. So if I can get 8 repeats on a single ball of yarn, would be good. I definitely will have enough yarn. I'm not worried about that. All right, so for the next stream, what I will try to have done is the toe for the sock that I want to knit. It is a toe up sock that starts off with a cast on that I can't remember. It's like Judy's Magic Cast On or something like that. It's one I have to look up anyway, because it's been a while since I've done toe up sock. But the last pair of socks that I did reminded me how much I dislike grafting a toe. And so a toe up sock it is. But I'll get you all those details on Sunday when I start. Fairly certain it's a free pattern that I'm working from as well, so if you want to work on it as well, that information will be there. Oh, I meant to mention, on Sunday I had said that this yarn... Oh, it does say loops and threads on there. Because I forgot, I didn't realize that this logo was on here. I thought I had read impeccable and then I said loops and threads, and then I didn't recall seeing it anywhere on the label afterwards, and I was reviewing my stream and I thought, oh man, I know that impeccable is a loops and threads yarn, but if the logo's not on the label, then maybe they sold the company or whatever. But no, it is a loops and threads yarn. So I know that it is available outside of Canada. I just don't know where you would get it. So wherever you get loops and threads, it's not exactly a premium yarn, so it should be available in a lot of places. If you were so inclined as to use the same yarn that I am using. Which you don't have to, obviously. That's the beauty of doing these projects, is you can use whatever suits your fancy, whatever works best for your needs. Oop. Okay. So, I'm just going to share the pattern again with you folks, just as a try and do this without actually typing. No, I'm going to have to. One moment, please. There we go. So it is a red heart pattern. Yarn Inspirations, the Crochet Lattice Lapgan, and there is a video that goes with it as well. If you find that it's a struggle to figure it out, they did do up on the Red Heart YouTube channel, they did put up a video for this blanket, so if you need a little bit more assistance with it, you can also shoot me a message and we can figure it out, whatever you may be stuck with. Oops. Going down the mountain. I recognize this song too. Well, we'll see if I get muted. We'll find out. Maybe it's different enough from the other versions. But I do approve of this song. As a nerd, yes. 100%. Maybe I'll skip Supernatural tonight and watch an episode, or watch a Star Wars episode. We'll see. Supernatural is my current TV binge. I was caught up to that show like 4 years ago, and then I started school and stopped watching TV because I was too busy. And I haven't seen like the last 3 seasons. So now I decided to do a full rewatch right from the very beginning. So I'm getting near the end. I'm on season 12 now. I'm almost caught up to where I was 4 years ago. Or however long ago that was. Looks like the lighting in here, even with the sun going down, is still good. So that's good. I don't know if I have this stitch over both loops. I do. Okay. Oh, and then I just pulled it out while checking. Okay, let's try this again. There. Didn't look like it was secure, so it's probably for the best that it pulled out. This is the exciting part of the evening where I start to get sleepy and bump into things. A stream of me snoring wouldn't be so bad, right? Nah, it's all good. It's all good. That's all right. We've made headway today. We've gotten almost as much done today as I did on Sunday. I keep splitting this yarn. Stop it. There. I should easily finish this repeat today. I may get some of the next repeat done before I end the stream today. We'll see how it goes. Three. Go down the mountain again. I think moving the camera next time is going to be a must. So in addition to starting a sock for Sunday, I'll try the camera on the other side. As being a right-handed person, you might be able to see more from the right-handed view. versus the left-handed view. I'm also watching myself with a bit of a right view. I'm leaning slightly right, is what I mean by that. I don't know why, if we do the thing from the tag from Streamlabs, so the pattern, the social, the pronouns, etc., it has a random thing in front of it. So like this last one that I typed in has a $sign in front of my text. Is that normal? I don't know. Did I do something wrong? I'll have to look into that. That's probably something I can find on Reddit. And I'll look up a way to fix that chat window too, so that we can actually see what's in the chat and not experience that delay. It's not a 3 or 4 minute delay for sure, because otherwise the text that Streamlabs posted would already be up there. So it's definitely a line delay. It's not showing the bottom lines. Which is problematic. How are we supposed to stay on top of this chat, right? Yeah. Maybe I won't get 8. Well, I might get 8 repeats in a ball of yarn. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll know more next week sometime. For now, I'll keep this as a stream only project. I have more than enough stuff I can do outside. There's always a project on the go. There's always something to work on, right? I still want to bring up my work up. Maybe that'll get better with my new glasses. I get to go pick out new frames on Saturday. I love that. It's always a good time. Have some pre-chosen. I don't know how they're going to look. With COVID, there's all kinds of protocols they have to follow to make sure that it's safe for everybody. So I'll have to try on these frames and see how they look. 'Cause it's one thing to look on a website and say, oh, those are pretty. It's another thing entirely to see them on your face. As it is, I'm likely going to be reusing 1 or 2 of my current frames anyway. I have a lot of glasses. A lot of pretty frames. Which is a weird thing to spend your money on, but it's my thing. I also used to work at an eyewear store, so that helped. Staff discount goes a long way for a big ticket item. And you can get designer products for cheap, cheap, cheap. Why not? Have you ever watched, if you're familiar with that, I want to say it was a YouTube show called Adam Ruins Everything. I don't know if it's still on. Anyway, there was an episode that had to do with lenses and frames and whatnot. And I can just tell you, absolutely accurate. Absolutely accurate. There are certain brands that I would tell you that despite the name, don't buy them. If you're actually looking for a quality product, don't buy them. Because they are made in cheap, cheap, cheap factories. And it does them a disservice that way. But, you know, they have a name to play on, so people pay premium dollar for no reason. There's definitely some brands that live up to the hype, for sure, but there's far more that you should probably avoid. Won't get into that right now, but if you're looking at glasses from a company called Fan, something that sounds like Fan, that's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, so all that to say, Wednesday I am picking out new frames. So in a few weeks, once my lenses come in, my progressive lenses, my old lady lenses, yes, my old lady lenses, I will be sporting a new look. Maybe I should look into some old lady frames. Maybe I should look at styles as old as I am. I'd be in style again because those thin-rimmed 80s square look frames are back in. Nasty. I just like those frames. But they're popular. They're everywhere. But I don't like them. I don't like them at all. Almost at the end of this row. That went really fast. Maybe I actually am starting to remember this pattern. Maybe I am actually starting to get it. Maybe. Okay. I might even have time to do another lattice row. What? We'll see. Down the mountain. I gotta say, it's nice to have the right number of stitches in every row. That's a good thing. It's a very loud motorcycle. Were you able to hear it? I don't know. Probably a great temperature to go for a ride. Okay, that row is done. It's looking nice. It's all coming together. Oh yeah. And now a single crochet row. See, and this is where my confusion comes from. With a single crochet row, to start a single crochet row, you chain one and then you single crochet into that first stitch. And if there's no indication on the pattern that that's what you should be doing, that you should be doing anything different with any other stitches, that's where errors are made. I can't be the only person who makes that mistake, who has made that mistake on this pattern. Because, see, the whole thing is, there is a diagram. I know you can't really see it very well. There is a diagram here on the pattern itself, and it shows the single crochets and the chains leading the single crochets. So it shows what I'm doing. It shows the proper layout for that, but doesn't see that in the instructions. So a person who doesn't know how to read the diagram, and when it comes to crochet, I don't tend to follow a diagram. It's not intuitive for me, although I can recognize what it's doing. It's a problem. Okay, let's burn through this row, because I ran through that last row fairly quickly. Maybe I won't be able to get it done. What did we do today? There's another cat hair. This is our 4th row today, right? So it took me about, when did I take a break? About 40 minutes ago. It took me about 40 minutes to do one row, which means it would take another 40 to do another row. That's going to be too late, I think. I think I will not do another row after this one. I think this will be the last row for tonight. I may next week, since Wednesday is not an option for me. I may stream on an alternate night. I might go for a slightly earlier Thursday night stream or something. Maybe something during the day, I don't know. The problem with a daytime stream is I don't know how long I can continue doing those. If I have to start going into the office and whatnot, those may be a problem. Those daytime streams may be a problem. And I don't want to be getting set into a schedule and then changing it on you folks. Because that's not cool. I do notice a lot of crafters streaming throughout the day though. It's hard because I want to be able to have, at the very least, a viewership for them and have the stream going, but I can't be at my monitor all day watching that, you know? I don't want to just turn it on and walk away, but it counts as a view. I don't know, it's something that I personally have to get around, I guess. Especially since those streamers are usually doing something I'm interested in, which is why I follow them in the first place. Does that make sense? If it's something I'm interested in, I want to be able to see the stream. Maybe I should look into getting some ergonomic hooks instead of this plain steel stick. Something with a pretty handle. I don't really tend to have cramping problems when I crochet, but something prettier to look at would be nice. I do have some hooks that have a wider handle and they have nice colors and all that fun stuff, but the problem is the size of the hook. If you take a look at this one, or if you're familiar with the steel hooks, they have, you're not going to be able to see it at all because of the glare. Let's see. Maybe? Anyway, you can kind of see the imprint on there. It has the size molded right into the hook itself. Most steel hooks will. But the other hooks that I have that are slightly prettier than these don't. They had the size actually ink printed on the plastic handle that surrounds the metal hook, and so with use, eventually, like if I'm keeping my thumb there, I'm going to be rubbing off that size all the time, and now I don't know what size hooks they are. So I mean, if I had a project where that didn't matter, then I can use them, but in most projects, the size of the hook matters. In fact, I can't think of maybe a rug where the size of the hook, you can just kind of guess. I mean, I'm familiar with the size of a 5mm, so I could kind of, with the feel of it, figure out a 5mm. But there's certain projects where the difference between a 5 and a 4.5, for example, is significant. It would just make too tight a weave on the fabric you're creating. So hook size is important, and if you can't even tell what size hook you have, why use it? All right. I am nearing the end of this row. We've been streaming for almost 2 hours, so that's pretty good. That's not bad for a Wednesday night. Okay. Oops, splitting the yarn again. All right. Yeah, that's going to be quite nice when it's all done. And the color showing up still is gray. It's still not showing accurately. Tomorrow, when it's sunny, I will take this outside and try and take an actual photo. Unless, of course, we get the thunderstorm that they keep telling us we may actually one day get. Who knows? Who knows? All right. So, all done with that. Let's switch back over here. And with that, my friends, that's our Wednesday night. Now you can't even see the shadows on my face. That's a downside. You can see the yarn and my work fine, but the lighting doesn't, unless I do this. Be all dramatic. All right, not today. All right, so again, thank you very much for joining me today. I've had a lovely time. I cannot wait to see you on Sunday, where we'll be knitting a sock. We'll work on a sock, and we'll get that started and get it figured out. All right. No stream next week Wednesday, but I will tweet out an alternate day and see what I can figure out for picking up, and we'll work on the blanket. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'll work on the blanket throughout the week, And then on Sundays, we'll do an alternate project. Excuse me, that sounds good to me right now. So for now, that's where we'll go with it, where we will go with this. Okay? So, goodbye, good night. This has been Shakti. I appreciate you here, and we'll see you on Sunday, 2 o'clock Eastern.